All right, I guess we're live. So welcome back to this week's episode of Live and Dirty at 5:30. Just wrapping up my day, pulling parts out of the tumbler and get them cleaned up before I head home. That way we don't get any water stains on any parts. So been tumbling parts all day and yesterday. Cleaning up some of our Clico tabs at the moment. So I'll keep doing that, and you guys can get your questions going and kind of go from there. Then we'll talk about kind of the stuff I've gotten done since last week, which is a lot and not a lot. It depends on how you look at it. Our Black Friday sale was really good, so I've been trying to make sure to get everything shipped out. I still have a few more things to go that I'll knock out hopefully tomorrow. Get them boxed up, because I had somebody ask me, I don't know if it was on Facebook or Instagram, like if I would do a video on what my day consists of, and I don't know how exciting that would be, but I figured I could talk about it for a few. So I try not to spend the whole day doing one thing, so I don't want to spend all day shipping out packages. So I get here usually between 7 and 7:30, and I work on shipping out orders from about 7:30 to 9. That's pretty much all I can spend on that. And then I go into hopefully working on a customer car. But with me being behind on frame rails and orders, I haven't really been able to put in as much time on that as I'd like. But here in a minute, we'll head over and I'll show you some of the work I've been doing on the 51 convertible quarter.
We got some comments. Dennis is here. He's first. Hello, Dennis.
Yep. Welcome.
Gabe is here. Fabit's here. Happy Thursday.
Yep.
And he says hi to Gabe. And Terry Howell is here from New Philadelphia. So
yeah, thanks for
a
joining
lot of
us.
East Coasters with us tonight, I think.
Yeah, so I got a...
Ooh, what's in there?
The
Space
machinist,
rocks?
yeah, the machinist dropped off another batch of corking and coining tools. So I always tumble those to smooth out the finish. And as you can see, I'll get some of the tumbling media that gets stuck in the end. So it's really not that big of a deal. I just pop it out and then wipe it off. And then we'll come back through and I have to put all of the set screws in there.
Greasy Moto's here.
Yeah, welcome.
Hey, hey. Oh, we got someone from Canada. Scar.
Yeah, you can see that one's stuck in the threaded end, but it's really not too big of a deal. Just pop it loose and they fall right out.
Is that what they use at the dentist?
Similar. It's a pick tool. This one's just not a toothpick tool.
It's not a toothpick tool.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like they use at the dentist, though.
Yeah, so what questions you guys got?
So early, give them a minute. How many screws do you put in it? 2 or
It
1?
depends. The corking tool, which is here, it gets 2 set screws, and then it'll have the striking face on the back. The coining tool gets 1 set screw, and also the striking face at the back.
Peter Robbins is here. He says, good morning, 6:30 a.m., so I'm guessing he's one of our Australians.
Yeah,
probably.
maybe. Trying to think of what time it would be over there.
I remember the name from last time, I think. Grand Camper Van, hello, hello. And Dalton's here. Hey, Dalton.
Yeah, I'll mention it again later, but I'll mention it now. This week, tomorrow, Friday, is the last garage night of 2025. So hopefully some of you guys will be here and get to hang out for a little bit. And also next weekend is our last metal shaping class in 2025. So I know Dalton's coming to that, and I don't know if anybody else watching will be here, but that's the last one of 2025. And then coming up in February, we'll have our first metal shaping class of 2026 with guest co-instructor Nick from Catskill Mountain Customs. So we do have a few spots left for that, if anybody is itching to take metal shaping classes this winter.
Outshine Copper said, hey, Mike and Jamie, hope we're having a good week.
Yep.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, it's just been busy.
Yeah, busy for sure. Okay, I was right. Dalton said he can't wait, and Peter said 6:30 a.m. Western Australian time. Converted to other time zones, they're still in 1978.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, at least I was right on the continent. I'm like, oh. Dennis said, how much pressure can you put on that printed block?
I don't know how much pressure.
Oh, the 3D.
Yeah, I don't know what it would take to break it. I was using it in the 50-ton press brake, but I was only bending 14 gauge aluminum 3 inches wide to a 35-degree bend. So it didn't get much pressure. Once I get these finished cleaned up, I'll show you. I did 6 of the wheel disc covers, and there's 3 tabs each, and I saw no wear on the
Oh, good.
on the tool.
Yeah, Dennis, he said got about a 20-degree bend. Yeah, you're pretty close, close to 35. Risimoto said, what kind of infill did you use?
100%.
And that's what Fabio said too, is it 100%?
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, because I thought about, I could have probably gotten away with, I don't know, maybe a 20% infill, but I'm like, it's such a small part, and I let it print overnight, so it didn't really matter. I'm like, I might as well do it and then have to do it once.
That's got a lot of rocks in it.
Yeah.
What parts tumbler do you use?
I have a Burr King.
King.
It's one of the Burr King round drums. We can walk up and show you here in a minute.
Should we tell them what you did before you had your Burr King?
Well, I had another Burr King, the one outside on the forklift.
Yeah, but you also, didn't you use a cement tumbler for
Yeah, I had a
that?
concrete mixer.
Yeah, concrete mixer.
Yeah. That one was quite noisy.
Yeah,
And even my big Burr King,
which is why it's on the forklift, right?
yeah, it was still noisy, and I had it mounted to a skid, and I'd leave it outside. It just, it didn't do as good of a job as the small one did on these smaller aluminum parts.
Yeah, and this one's still loud, but definitely not
Not
as bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
So usually I'll run it overnight to where I don't have to listen to it, unless, like these parts, I don't want to let them tumble for 12 hours. They get about an hour and a half, because then they start to get polished, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but that's not really the look I'm going for.
Yeah.
So they make it about an hour and a half.
Gabe said, when you were hammering on the rear quarter taillight section, were you using a plastic dolly on the back?
In some spots. So it depends on what I was trying to do, and just remind me here in a minute when we get over there, and I'll show you that.
Flying rocks everywhere.
Yeah.
Dalton said he thought about using the concrete mixer, but heard it's super loud.
It's,
so
it's
can confirm.
extremely loud. Yeah. Yeah, that's one you leave outside.
Yeah.
That's an outside toy.
Luckily, your neighbors don't complain.
No, and I always tried to be respectful of that stuff doesn't start till after 10 and stops around 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely try to keep quiet hours around here.
yep. All right. Just wanted to get those that way. I didn't get too much water, like,
Spots.
yeah,
and
water
stuff.
spot stuck on it. And then I just come in with the set screws and I start them. I'll start them by hand, and then just use this as my my handle, run them in a little bit.
Just enough.
Yep. And then we'll put knobs on them and put them in on the shelf with all the others. So the cool thing is, I think I just got 60 of these, 60 of each. So I've got plenty in stock, and hopefully that'll last us a little bit. And I had to reorder, so this is just a part of all the Cleco tabs. I think I ordered 200 of them, so there's still a bunch in the tumbler. But they're stainless, so if they get water spots, I'll just run this tumbler a little bit more and clean them off.
Yeah, let's
But
go
yeah.
look at the.
Okay.
Which do you want to do first? Parts tumbler or the?
Yeah, we'll show the parts tumbler. It's been in some shorts and some other videos. It's not very exciting. It's just a small Burr King. Yeah, so it's a Vibra King 15. So it's a mess right now just because the filter bag got full and it overflowed, so I had to switch that out. But yeah, I have to tumble these tomorrow, and then I'll be done running the tumbler through the day. So this whole box was full, and I've just been going through, getting everything cleaned up, ready to ship out when the orders come in.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I get to mop around this thing and clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I can show you,
I'm gonna go the short.
I can show you a lot. So here is the press brake tool that I used this morning. So 100% infill, just PLA, nothing fancy. It did good. So keep that on the shelf for later. And I don't sell a ton of those. Like, I'll be surprised if I sell 100 of those discs. So that one will probably last forever.
Yeah. Ashton Copper said, could you discuss the hand position you prefer to use while using a hammer or slapper to planish out a weld? Do you hold your index finger in line with the handle, etc.?
Whatever's comfortable. There's really no rules.
Ain't no laws.
Yeah. Just whatever makes it to where you can control it better and you feel comfortable.
Okay.
That's the big thing. Gabe was asking if I was using a plastic dolly. So this is UHMW, so ultra high molecular weight. On the part, I was using that and not steel in this area because I had to stretch it. So I wanted something I could push into to kind of get that stretch with elasticity to make it stretch in a little bit farther. And I carved the corner, hopefully you can see that it's curved that way and this way, so it would fit up into the backside really well, and I could hammer right in this area that needed pushed in. So I did that, and then I switched over to this comma-shaped dolly and had it up under there, and I was using a reverse curve hammer.
So is that one of your new hammers then?
Yeah, so this is one of the new ones. And I went ahead and did 2 of these because these are the ones I'm using. And I reshaped the handles. I think there was a short, I think I posted it on here. But I reshaped the handles.
Just to fit your hand better?
Yeah, fit my hand better, to thin them out, take some of the bulkiness off. I'll show you the difference. You can stay there if you want.
Ask
and if anybody has questions, make sure to ask.
Yeah. If you guys want to see anything, let me know. Let's see the panel, the dolly.
Yeah, so these handles, they almost feel like a carpenter's handle to me. Like, they're just big, they don't fit my hand very well, and the hammer wants to rotate a little bit. And sometimes I'll choke up on the hammer to lighten my hit, and this just doesn't feel good. So you can see the difference of how much I took out of it. And what I do is I put kind of a bulb here, so I know where I am. Like, I can slide down and it fits right in that kind of meaty bit on my thumb. That fits right in there. And they're not perfectly round. They're kind of like a radius octagon shape, so it kind of doesn't want to twist in my hand. And then, of course, I put Dykem on the faces and block that to make sure there's no low spots. And like even this one that looked flat, when I started sanding it, there was a low in the middle that was maybe 6 or 7 thousandths, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're trying to get a really nice finish, if this isn't flat or to the radius you want, it can fight you along the way.
So would it have like more, like not necessarily tooling marks, but like it could?
It didn't have a smooth finish, or like a smooth contact patch. So it might have been stretching here and doing nothing there.
Yeah, not even.
Yeah, so you want that nice and flat or a constant radius the direction you're going.
Any questions on hammers or dollies?
Yeah. I was thinking about doing a longer format video on it. I just don't know if it's really all that exciting watching me block hammers and dollies, but we still might do one. It's just been hectic trying to get everything done.
Yeah. Gabe said it was a good short on the hammer adjustment also. So.
Yep. Yeah, like I said,
Thanks, Gabe.
I might do a longer format one, but it'll probably be a 10 to 15 minute one because it's just literally covering everything with Dykem, blocking it to where you get all of the deep scratches, gouges, and low spots out, so you have a nice true surface.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's kind of what I've been working on is this, like I said, getting all the tools done, all of the orders done. Yeah, it's just been hectic doing that. We are getting some new tools made. Let me turn that off. Just remind me to turn it back on. Because we forgot last week, and I'm like, man, on Sunday, I'm like, why is it so cold in here? Because we didn't have the heat on. So
And it's a little too cold to do that here.
Yeah.
We got, I don't know about you guys, but we got like, what, 6 inches of snow probably?
Yep.
So it is snowy outside, cold.
Yep, so I had to cut all of these up. So there's,
Oh, I'm too short.
yeah, I think there's 30 aluminum and 30 steel. So these are going to end up the CP tooling holders, the lightweight aluminum, and then the full-size steel, which we've been out of for a while. So we're going to get those made, and then been cutting these. These will be the new flanges for the wedge lock kit for the bench mount. So I've been cutting all that stuff up. Started cutting some, I have 3 sets of frame rails to do for a client, so it's a whole kit. Outer frame rails, K-member, cross members. So there's the rear cross members, and then here's my cut list for those.
Ooh. So Donkey said good evening. Fabit said it's going to be 11 degrees where he is.
Yeah.
And then Maple Street Rod said it was negative 12. Ugh.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds terrible. Yeah.
So, full length set of frame rails, other parts that I cut last week? I don't know. It's all blurring together. It might have been over the weekend.
Yeah.
So, my 2x4 selection is getting a little on the thin side, so I've got enough to do this last set. So I guess I'm going to order some 2x4 120 wall bendable tomorrow, and we'll get another 30 sticks shipped in. So that should last us a little bit.
Yeah. Outshine Copper said to use 80 grit and then a red Scotch-Brite pad to finish off your panels.
The handles, I usually
Panels.
Panels? Yes.
Panels, yeah.
I'll use 80 grit on a DA, and then I'll use 2 different Scotch-Brites. They're both red, but one of them is a hard, so it's not really red anymore. But this is a red Scotch-Brite pad for a DA, and it's really kind of coarse. You can hear how coarse that is.
Yeah.
And then I'll switch over to just a red Scotch-Brite pad on the DA to finish it. So this one will help soften the 80 grit, and then this softens the in-between step. And last week we were talking about my press, and it just happened to be the air motor, so I got that fixed.
Oh, good. I meant to ask you about that. Did you end up buying the new one?
I got one from Bailey, and then I ordered a foot pedal with a hydraulic reservoir just in case that didn't work. But luckily, we can send that one back.
Yeah, because we talk about that, like, I don't remember if we talked about that or not.
I don't know.
It stopped working, basically, when you had, what, how many left? How many
Yeah, I think I
shrinking
had 6 or 7 shrinking discs left on this batch, and I wanted to get it fixed because I had to do some slappers, so I had to stamp our logos into those.
I think Amazon is here.
I had some slappers to put the logo in, and with the Black Friday deal, we sold the majority of all the shrinking discs. So I think I have 3 left. So then I had to order another 50 discs to start stamping those when they get here, probably Monday, just to keep up on stock.
Yeah.
And
See if Amazon rings the doorbell or not.
and I started on this 32 5-window insert.
Shiny.
It's got some low spots in it where I might have like 20 minutes left on it. But there's a low spot right here I need to raise, and then I'll start washing across everything. But it's sitting on the buck.
Maple Street Rod said, what's the throat depth on your punch?
On the punch. I don't know. I've never measured it. 19 inches. 18. It's a Rotex 18, so I'm guessing the majority of it is 18. But if we bottom it out, it's about 19. Yeah. I don't know if Amazon's out there or not.
I saw, or they just turned around in the parking lot.
I see somebody standing out there. We'll get Amazon in, and then I'll show you a new addition to the shop, which I'm kind of excited to show you guys. Because I've talked about it twice, and it finally showed up the other day. So
Yeah.
let's see.
What did you get on Amazon?
I don't know what I got on Amazon.
So the funny part is, like, everyone always thinks, like, it's the lady that buys all the stuff on Amazon. That is not the case for us. It's you that buys all the stuff on Amazon.
Yeah. But I buy supplies.
It's shop
and that kind of
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We're staying back here. Where are you going?
okay. My phone's ringing, and I thought it was the doorbell.
Oh.
It might be Amazon wanting to know if I'm here.
Probably.
No clue. So I'll check on that. Ask Jamie some questions
Yeah,
while I
ask
run
her
up
some
here.
questions, or if you want to see, I'll show you big hammer. I'm assuming also, spoiler, that what he wants to show you is probably in this shot, if I'm a betting woman. Anything else you guys want to see? Any of the cars, the signs? Feel free. Give me a comment. Oh, now the shop phone is ringing. Was it Amazon?
Oh, no, they left.
Oh, okay. Oh, we can show that again. Donkey, you probably just missed it. But
Cornfield Customs, this is Mike.
this fender?
Hey, how's it going?
So this fender goes to this car. How long have we been together? So Fabit, we've been married for 15 years, and we met in 2007.
Yes. Yeah, something like that.
So whatever the math is on that. So long time. We did not meet in high school, shockingly.
I ordered them from the laser shop.
Not quite. So yeah. So he has a short up right now too, if you want to look. Using a hammer and dolly on the tail light wheel well. Well, not wheel well. You know what I mean. Just pretend. You know
Okay.
what I mean.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll modify the blueprint. That way, moving forward, we'll have them that way.
I say, should I sit on the chair and roll around? Do you guys want to see? Usually people like the
Yep.
Mustang.
Yeah, and I started
We did a
cutting
lot of
tubing
that
today and got all
last
that stuff
week.
ordered at the laser shop. So
Hopefully you can't hear my jibber jabbing in the back too much. We can look at his schedule, see what he's got, what he plans on doing. Yeah. So he did do a lot of that stuff. Go ahead
Okay.
and get the driver's side quarter dialed in.
all right, it'll be about a week or two, and I'll give you a call.
I don't know if he's on the trim lines
Yep,
or
thanks.
not, but I was looking at your schedule and see, it looks like you're kind of on track.
Not really. Yeah, sorry I had to take that call. I was waiting on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
You want to talk about the fender a little bit more? Someone was asking about
yeah,
it.
what are the questions?
They just want to know what the fender was for. I showed it. I think it was for the
Yep, so
51.
it's the new quarter for the 51 Ford convertible. So obviously this is the passenger side. This was the first one, and I got the shape dialed in where I liked it and the light fitting. So then I got this one roughed out, welded together, and was dialing in the shape after welding and planishing out the weld seam. So it just takes a little bit to make sure that they are the same. So I laid out with lasers these marks, and it just goes across left to right. So then I could come in with a radius gauge. And since I was hammering through here, I just transferred it, but I could check it at each one of those points to make sure they're the same.
And make sure you're on track with what you were doing.
Yeah, just so I'm measuring, or I'm checking them in the same spot
Yeah.
and making sure they're the same. That way one side's not a 2-inch radius and the other side's a 6-inch radius. Trying to make sure everything's as close to symmetrical as we can make it. So that's the hard part, is getting the first one that we invented is relatively easy. Just getting the second one to match as close to identical as we can is a little bit of a challenge. So spending a little bit of time on that and getting this dialed in, and then I can start cutting out to get these mounted.
Yeah. Dennis said, I guess when using a shrinking disc, the metal should be, he says with paint and or other stuff, probably without paint.
Yes.
As
Yeah,
I-
clean bare
clean
metal, no oil, no
Yeah.
nothing.
Dennis. That's what I thought you meant, Dennis. Appreciate it. Someone said Dodge. No, it's not a.
It's a Ford.
It's a Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a Dodge. Dalton wants to know the best way to split up a panel when templating it.
There's really no rules. You have to break it up into size of panel that you can manage. And the big thing is if you have a peak like this, you don't want to edge weld anything on that peak. So when you break that up, you're going to either come over the peak 3/4 of an inch, or you're going to stay 3/4 of an inch away over here. So when I did this piece, it came up over and that came across the top. So the weld seam is in
Yeah.
line with this.
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
Well, that's where, yeah, there was tape there, and you can see that tape ghost line.
Yeah.
Because when I patterned this side to make the other side, I laid all my seams out with tape. That way I knew they were in the same spot.
Yeah.
So, as big as you can manage and not edge welding anything is the most critical part. Other than that, there's really no rules. You can break it up into any size or orientation you want. You just have to take into account too, you don't want the panel to get super thick and then have to go into a super thin spot. So that's going to be something you're going to have to experiment with and figure out what you can get away with shrinking and stretching wise where the panel meets.
Does it depend too, like on, I guess probably depends on what kind of equipment you have to make it manageable.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're doing everything with hand tools, you're going to have to break it into smaller and smaller parts. If you have a power hammer, you can cheat and get into bigger panels. And I hope this cough goes away.
Yeah.
It's been like 6 weeks, and it's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger panels like roof inserts, door
Yeah.
stands.
Roof inserts and quarter panels. Yeah, because I didn't get a chance to do any work on it other than laying it out because life got busy.
Oh yeah, and you wanted to show your
My
thing, your toy.
Yeah,
you
so
got.
like this is a Model A quarter panel. So I'll shape this in one piece. So it's quite a big piece to manipulate.
Yeah.
Um,
Gabe wants to know, is it better to weld in a valley?
You can get away with that, like in the center of a reverse, but if you can stay away from being in the center of a reverse, it's better. It just depends on the shape of the panel and how you can actually break it up and achieve it. I prefer not to do it if it's like a last-ditch effort.
Okay.
But it is better to weld in the center of a reverse than it is on a peak. Because the big thing with a peak is you can't really get in there and hammer it out accurately. Because you know your weld seam is going to be there. So if you have to dress the weld, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
It's better to break over or stay away from it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hey Dino, Outshine Copper said, would not edge welding on a peak before being able to finish the weld out properly, or does it have to do with the overall strength of the panel?
It's mainly the fact that you're not going to be able to accurately dress the weld if you have to dress it and hammer and dolly it out. And it's just easier to control if you can shape the metal over that peak. It's just a good rule of thumb. And there's going to be people that want to argue about it, about edge welding is better, but it's really not.
If not, you're like, you can mess up the shape of
Yeah.
what you just did, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
sense.
tough to break the habit of doing that, but if you can avoid edge welding,
Yeah.
it's much better.
Makes sense. And
Any
Gabe
other
said,
questions?
what?
I was going to say, any other questions?
Gabe said, thanks for explaining it better. So,
Okay.
yeah, cool. No, I figured you'd show your new toy.
Yeah.
I told him, spoiler, I thought it was in the background when I showed the power hammer.
So it doesn't look like much, but I'm super pumped on these. So these are an original set of sweeps from Fisher Body in Detroit, and they were in the development lab, I guess, where they would do clay models and prototyping. So yeah, they're from the 50s, 60s. And the cool thing is it came with the sweep sets and
With
the
the
cart
stand?
and the stand.
Yeah.
Now that one's got a little, like, can't see the sticker, so I'll pick one you can see the sticker really good being on film. So, the sweep, and it tells us what the number is, so 7.5 and 6.5. And then here it tells us what the rise on each one is out of set 12. And then it says Fisher Body True Sweep with all the conversion charts on the sticker. So it's just a really cool piece of history, and everyone's labeled the same. Well, not the same, but has a corresponding sticker,
yeah.
appropriately to match it. And like even just the cart, like with everything being laser engraved,
Let me see if I can get that.
it's super cool. Well, I guess I don't know if it would have been laser, but it's
Is it like punched? Oh,
No,
no,
it was-
it looks fancy.
yeah, it might have been like acid milled or something, but it's super cool. And then I'm missing a wheel, which kind of sucks.
A
But
wheel.
even on the back of the cart,
Oh, I see it. Whoop.
it had pegboard, so as you take this around the development lab, you could hang other measuring instruments and stuff on the backside.
Cool.
So I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah, Dalton said those are super cool. Maple Street said those are nice. Are you going to use them or keep them for display?
I'm going to use them.
Cool. Yeah.
Yep, so I actually had, I was checking some stuff with sweeps the other day, and I'm like, hey, let's try these.
Yeah.
So you guys can't, you can't experience this because we don't have smell-o-vision. But I'm guessing the guy was a smoker.
I mean, they are kind of.
Yeah, so you can see that they're
Nicotine.
a little yellowed. They were in his finished basement,
Yeah.
but they have a smell. Like it smelled like pipe tobacco
Hold on,
yesterday.
I'm sniffing them. I could kind of smell it. It
Yeah.
smells kind of like old man, but maybe
Yeah.
that's just because I associate
Yeah.
pipe tobacco with old men.
Yeah, like yesterday when they got here and I unwrapped everything and put it up, like the whole shop smelled like pipe tobacco.
Yeah.
So eventually I might try to clean them off with some rubbing alcohol or something and not
Yeah.
try not to damage the sticker because that's one of the cool parts.
Yeah,
really.
that is cool. We got some questions. So I think they just joined Obscurity, said they just joined. When you say no edge welding, are you referring to just at a peak or are you lapping the panels?
So a butt weld is not an edge weld. You just don't weld at a peak at, like any hard corner, you don't do that at. I don't really know how to, a butt weld is fine on anything that's not a peak or like a valley here, because you'll never be able to, if you weld inside that peak of that body line, you'll never be able to hammer and dolly that out.
Yeah.
And the same thing if we come back to the convertible, like you would never weld right here on the peak of this light housing because it's going to be so hard to clean that up and hammer and dolly it. So when I shape that, the weld seam is out here. That way, this is all smooth, uniform, and the weld seam out here will be much easier to correct. So same thing here. I'm not going to edge weld this on the corner of the opening. I'm going to turn that edge and drop it down into the trunk.
Yeah, because you don't want to mess with your shape when you.
Well, it's not even that. You'll just never be able to get in there to fix
Yeah.
it. Like, to grind the weld, to dress the weld, you'll end up burning through, and you can't really hammer and dolly because the weld is going to dictate that more so than just turning the edge.
Yeah.
So same thing, like on the Mustang, you would never weld it here, you would never weld it here, you'd never weld it here. Your weld seam would be here or there, here or there. This you would just take under, or you'd put that seam here. Even where this panel would come up, you would never weld it here. You don't want to edge weld, but a butt weld is the way to do it. You don't want to overlap any panel.
Yeah, yeah. Gabe said that's a badass addition to the shop. Dalton said the cart really is a good idea. Agreed.
Yeah.
Alshane Copper said, how does the measurements of the sweeps work? Is the rise in the middle over the X amount of feet long?
Yes.
Rise over run?
Yes. So we'll start with the cart thing. I like the cart because it's nice and compact, but you can't get a visual. Like that's why I like my other set to be on the wall, because I can get a side profile visualization. This one, I can't really tell what the sweep is.
Yeah.
So if we look,
And someone else asked too if they're aluminum.
yes, they are aluminum. So it's tough to see, but a sweep is, I think it's 5.5 feet. I'd have to measure it, maybe 5 feet.
Is it taller than me? No.
No.
It's
So
probably 5 foot.
5 foot. So we'll just say 5 foot for the sake of argument. A number one sweep is 1/8 rise in the center from point A to point B, and this is an 1/8 inch up, and that is your constant radius. So if you look here, it's going to be tough. Hopefully you can see it. A half of
Yeah.
a 1, the rise is 0.063, which is 1/16 of an inch. And then that gives us our radius, and then it's in millimeters and inches. So then 1.5 inches is 3/16 rise. So
I zoomed in, you'd be impressed. And we
What?
could- I zoomed in, you'd be impressed, and we
Yeah.
could see it.
Well, if I was smart, I would have showed you this side.
Oh, hold on, so.
So this side is engraved. So it tells us our rise.
So could you, never mind.
So then if we get a 50, it's going to be 6 1/8, or that's a 49, so 6 1/8, or 49 1/8 to get there. So that's how sweeps are measured.
I don't know. It's all Greek to me. I did not do well in geometry. I just remember rise over run.
Yep.
And that's
And
all I know.
this isn't really even geometry. It's just 1/8 inches in the middle of an arc.
No.
And a number 1 is 1/8. A number 50 is 50/8.
Oh, okay. I get you.
So then if we do a 100,
So so the sweeps you have on the wall,
they are the same unit of measure.
you just have more of them.
Yeah.
So you have a bigger,
Yes. A bigger array.
population.
So then this is a 99 and a 100. So our 99 is 99 1/8 inches from the center down. And I have some short ones that I'd made, and it's the same, the same arc, but instead of being 5 feet, I did 2.5 feet. So it's like a number 1 is still a number 1. If
It's
you
still
hold,
1/8 of an inch.
no,
Oh.
no. If I were to take a number 1 sweep and put it in the shear and cut it in half,
Yeah.
that's what the short ones are. It's the same arc
Okay.
of
okay.
a full-size number 1. It's just small, so I can get into smaller areas.
Okay.
Because if I did it an 1/8 inch over 2.5 feet, that's not
It's
the
going to
same
be
arc.
same. Yeah, it's good. The radius is going
Yeah.
to be different.
The radius is the same. The arc length is shorter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I warned you.
Yeah.
Not good at. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just had to move a couple things around to get that in, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to see if I can find a matching wheel that goes into the tube the same. But yeah, really happy with them.
Dennis wants to know if the one on the walls are stainless.
Nope, they're aluminum as
aluminum,
well.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I've had
thanks,
a
Nathan.
lot of people ask like why I don't produce sweeps. Just that set, I think, to cut material and laser time was like $1,500, and then you have to hand deburr every one of them, and then I would want them to all be engraved the same, and I'd want to have cool stickers. So by the time I did a set of 0 to 100s, I would have 25 or $3,000 worth of machine time in it, if not more, plus my labor.
I feel like shipping those would be a beast.
Shipping would be terrible. So
Yeah.
I mean, to make it profitable from a business standpoint, you'd probably have to be charging $4,000 or $5,000 for a set of sweeps,
Yeah.
which sucks. And there are people out there. Customs by Jimmy makes a set. His are steel. I think they're 14 gauge, maybe 8th. But they're laser cut, and then he powder coats them, and they come with a stand, like a wall mount, for I think $1,000. So
Good deal.
yeah, a lot cheaper than what I would be able to charge to do them. And I think Jimmy does all the laser work and everything in house.
Yeah. We probably should have showed them this way because Gabe said it. He said you can really see the profile of them
Okay.
right now. It's like, yeah, you can. Yeah, much better
Yep.
from this angle. So, thanks, Nathan. Nathan's is asking people to hit the like button for us.
Yeah,
So
thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Yeah, and all that stuff helps. You know, the likes, the comments, all of that stuff.
Yeah, just you guys watching, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. So something cool.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things I wasn't in the market looking for, and somebody on Facebook hit me up and said he was cleaning out his dad's house, and he was a designer at Fisher Body, and these were in the basement. And wanted to know if I'd be interested in buying them and putting them back to use. So that was just a really cool message. And
Yeah. And we'll take good care of them.
yeah, I'll take good care of them.
Yeah. Fabit wants to know how thick are yours?
These and mine are both 1/8 inch aluminum.
Okay. And Fabit's a good info. So thanks.
Yep.
Thanks. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything else you want to see?
And just while I'm standing here looking at this,
Yeah.
our wedge lock toolkit, we do have 26 of them in stock.
Ooh. Ready to roll?
Yep, ready to roll, ready to ship out. So if you want to get in on the wedge lock, T-Dolly kits, they're in stock, ready to go. And I am doing some extended height inserts. So they're 3 inches taller, so you can cut them down as need be. Um, I like it to be a little bit closer. Some people said they'd like it a little higher, so I made the wedges a little bit longer to suit your guys' needs and likes.
Fabit said 14 seems thin.
I think 14 seems thin.
Yeah.
But then, if you take 14 gauge and put powder coat on both sides, it is going to thicken it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But somebody even commented that I should copy those and do them in 18 gauge steel. And I'm like, 18 gauge is way too thin. You're just asking for problems.
Yeah. Scar said, do those sweeps increment in 1/8 inch?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Outshine Copper said, what do you find you use more, the 5-foot sweeps or your shorter sweeps, and how long are the shorter sweeps?
I use the longer ones more often. The shorter ones are if I'm kind of constrained on an area that I can't fit a full-length sweep. So the full-length sweeps, like I said, I believe are 5 feet. I'd have to measure them to verify that. But my short ones are 2.5 feet.
Cool. Yeah, I said thanks.
Yep. Yeah, what other questions you guys have? Say, haven't done much on the Indy Roadster. We're still waiting on the engine and transmission to come in on that. I've been doing some stuff in the back, but we can never go back there because we just lose service. But ordering parts, got the exhaust for the MGA, the new stainless mandrel bends in for the exhaust to be replaced. So that came in. If I get time this weekend, I'm going to start digging into that. I'm going to have to start prepping for the race season.
Yeah, I thought about that on the way here too. I'm like, we could ask people like, what are you working on this winter now that it's winter basically
winter.
in the northern hemisphere?
Yeah.
When do you guys have anything you're trying to get knocked out this winter? I know you've got MGA stuff to try to get fixed and updated and ready to roll.
Yep, and I think the red Roadster that's in the office, we've shown it numerous times that we can walk in there.
Yeah, let's do that.
I've got a bunch of stuff I need to get done on it, but I don't have a lot of time. So Aaron, one of my teammates, I think he's coming down maybe this weekend, and he's gonna take it back to his place in Lafayette, Indiana, and start doing the engine maintenance and getting things ready for next season. So either he can take it to Bonneville or I can take it to Bonneville. But it's just easier for him to come pick it up and take it home and do the maintenance instead of driving 3 hours down and working on it for a day and then driving 3 hours home. So he'll probably keep it for a couple months, get everything going, get the new intake on it, and then bring it back. And I'll make a new hood to accommodate the new carburetor and intake and all that stuff. So,
yeah. Fabit wants to know, what are you printing this evening?
more tool holders. Yeah, I just try to print the longer items at night when I'm not here. But the interesting thing is, I think I've had the printer, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. I think we've got 250 run hours on it, so it's pretty much been running nonstop since I got it.
Yeah. I was
other than when
afraid
it kicks off in the middle of the night.
I was afraid you weren't going to use. I'm like, I don't understand what you're going to use this for, but okay.
Yeah,
And it's proving me wrong.
like always.
I feel like that's your life goal. Prove Jamie wrong, which
Exactly.
is totally fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it'll be weird, this car not sitting here, because it's always here unless it's out racing. I think I'm going to move the Hanchard Special up to take its place, so I got a little bit more room in the back. Yeah. So if you guys want to see it in person before it goes racing, hopefully you'll be here for Garage Night tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
This time tomorrow
Yep.
night.
And for you guys that don't know what Garage Night is, I'm locked door policy Monday through Friday, just so I can focus on the projects. I don't let visitors come in. Everything's by appointment only, but the first Friday of every month, as long as I'm in town, I open the doors up to the public from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can come in and see what we're working on, and it's kind of like a mini open house, and I just do that throughout the year. So it's not one big thing once a year. So yeah, and tomorrow's the last one of 2025.
Yeah. Dennis wants to know, how did the exhaust down tube turn out?
Which exhaust down tube?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I assume for this.
I don't know.
I don't know. Gabe also wants to know, when welding the exhaust for the MGA, will you cap and backfill with argon while welding?
Yeah, I'll back purge it. That's a gray area. I've talked to people that build like stainless top fuel exhaust and they don't back purge. Some people do, some people don't. I think it depends on the longevity of the pipe. So since we're going to be running it, hopefully for many seasons, unless I get it ripped off again, I'm going to back purge it just because. So
If you're doing it, you might as well try to do it as right as possible.
exactly. That way, it's just one less thing to worry about,
Yeah.
and it's nice, clean, and I don't have to worry about any crystallization inside that could even slow down the exhaust exiting. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Dennis said on the red car.
I've got the little turnouts. They're in the back. I got one ready to mount, and the other one is pretty close. But it goes back to the whole thing of me not having a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
So.
Jeff said he finally bought himself a 3D printer after watching you get yours.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, cool. Outshine Copper also said, other than the locked door policy and other recommendations for achieving and maintaining good focus in the shop.
Yeah, don't answer the phone.
In the middle of a live stream? I'm just
Yeah. Well, that one I've been waiting on.
Yeah.
I don't answer the phone during the day. I let the answering machine get it. So I'm actually bending a bunch of frame rails and parts for him. And he called, then I called him back. He didn't answer. So then
Phone
he called me
tag.
back, and we were playing phone tag all day. So I'm like, I got to answer the phone. Yeah, but during the day, I don't answer the phone. And you have to leave me a message, a detailed, clear message, and I'll call you back. To me, that helps a lot because I get probably 15 to 20 phone calls a day. So it breaks that, constantly breaking that focus.
Yeah.
So if you don't leave me a message, I'm not going to call you back.
Well, and then kind of like you said earlier, you
Let's
have.
go back out here. The furnace
Yeah.
is about ready to kick on.
Yeah.
I
You
was
have,
going to say, this furnace is loud.
yeah. You have, I don't want to say office hours, but kind of like you have it built into your routine that like you do certain things in the office in the morning. And
Yeah, like usually
So-
I'll try to call East Coast people back in between 9 and 10 right after I get done shipping stuff. And then at lunchtime, I'll try to call back farther west, Midwest, and West Coast people. And then at the end of the day, I'll try to call people back again.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of like time blocking.
yeah, it's just morning, midday, and end of the day, I try to return calls.
Yeah. And that kind of what people do in the office. So Donkey said back in the day, he didn't back purge any 3-inch stainless on his hot rod. He had no problems and it worked. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good practice. It's a little, I wouldn't say wasteful. It does use a lot of extra argon, and it just depends on who you ask. But I'm just going to do it because I'm really picky.
Yeah. That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what other questions you guys got? Because we are approaching an hour.
Yeah, we're getting close. We're like 10 minutes. So, yeah, get those questions in.
Yeah, and if you guys can do me a favor, like, throw out ideas for videos you want to see within reason, like here in the live streams.
Yeah.
Comment on other videos that are along the same tangent point. It helps drive the algorithm, and it gives me a reference. I can go back and see what kind of videos you guys want. But with that being in reason, don't say, hey, I want to see you make that corner panel with hammers and dollies, because I can't really do that since it's a customer car. You know, I can't stop what I'm doing and spend 2 weeks building it with a hammer and dolly to prove a point.
Yeah. Randy said, any good source for hammer handles?
I usually just buy the Martin. You can get them on Amazon. You can get Martin handles and then put them in your hammer. Or I've got one that you can just make your own if you're kind of crafty.
We're staying here.
Okay, Jamie's staying there. So I found this one the other day, and it's got a very broken handle, and it's been mended with tape. So I want to clean up the face and weld like a small ball bearing or mid-sized ball bearing to it, and change the back of this and make a handle. So being that small, I'm not going to be able to find a handle I like. So I'm just going to see if I can find a piece of hickory that's probably 1.5 inches round or 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches square, and I'll carve it out with a rasp. So.
Okay. Fabit wants to know, whose notcher is that?
This is a Bailey and an RMD notcher. It's an RB. No, RBD is rotary draw bender. I forget what they call it, but it's a TN250, tube notcher 250. Yeah, I've had this thing a long time, and I've notched a lot of race car tubing with it. So the Streamliner was built with it, the Indy Roadster, the red car, the Hanchard special chassis, and I bet 50 dragsters. So this one's notched quite a bit of tubing over the years.
Obscurity said, do you TIG or MIG your body panels?
Everything here is TIG welded. MIG welding is a bad word, and yeah. I have a MIG welder, and it only gets used if I'm welding on the tractor or the frame on the trailer. So,
Which is hopefully not often.
yeah.
Dennis said, what's for dinner? So I think we're going to go to this small town, like small restaurant called Weiss Bakery by us.
That's a little mom and pop.
Little
place.
mom and pops. So we try to go to those when we can.
Yep.
And Dalton said, what's the weather like next week? Bring some gloves and a hat. I had to look, but I think it's supposed to be cold.
Yeah, probably. We got the cold earlier this year than normal.
Yeah, usually it doesn't like get this cold or snow until like January.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What other questions you guys got? Because we're talking
that's-
about dinner, so I'm getting hungry.
I know.
Well, while you come up with your questions, last minute questions, don't forget to check out our Patreon if you want to help
Yeah.
support the channel and everything we do. And Dalton and Greasy Moto and a few other guys that are on here
Dave.
right now are on the Discord server, and we're trying to get that better. I know I've been slacking a little bit, but I've also been going nonstop since I got home from Australia. So we're building a community over there of like-minded people, and it just doesn't have the cesspool that Facebook does. So,
Basically, just people just talking about projects and
yep,
opinions.
projects and questions and tools and events. So it's pretty much like an old school forum, just with like-minded people. And with it being behind the paywall, it keeps all the riffraff out. So make sure to check that out. And you get discounts on the web store and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff as well.
Greasy Moto said, have you ever thought about doing a class on race car chassis building?
I don't know enough about race car chassis building to be able to do a class on one.
Yeah.
I just make it up as I go. I do have a book that I reference, but it reads like a college textbook. It is race car and vehicle dynamics. We can walk up and look.
Okay.
It's a
And then Fabit said, have a great evening. He's going to build a 2x3 horse. Fun.
yeah. Well, thanks for stopping in.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's going to be loud with the air handler running. But this book is really good, but it covers everything. So you can't, it's not like you can say, this is how you set up a front end, because it depends on what you're doing. Is it for asphalt? Is it for dirt? Is it for round track? Is it for road race? Is it for drag racing? So this book has all the information of all race car setups that you need, but it is not for afternoon reading.
It's not a coffee table book
No.
for sure.
So it has all the formulas to calculate exactly what you're trying to achieve, and you have to go through every one. So you have to find, I'm looking to set up my Ackerman to do this, and I want it to do this, and then you have to go through all the math, but it gives you all the graphs. Yeah.
I didn't know you could read.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
I just look at the pictures. But it's a very handy book, but it's not one that's like, I'm going to read this book and learn about suspension.
In 20
Because-
minutes
yeah.
before I go to bed.
Yeah, because this is more of a reference book to be like, oh, I'm having this steering problem. You can come in and you can diagnose it and
Right.
figure out how to improve
Cool.
it for what your car is. Like I said, I haven't done a class on race car chassis design because I don't know enough about it. I can build race cars, but it's all dependent on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would feel confident other than building a chassis and a cage in that class.
Jerry said, any good front end or any good front engine dragster chassis plans available that you know of?
Nothing that I know of, and that's kind of it's kind of a loose term, because do you want an early chassis research style? Do you want a Don Long style? Like, there's just so much. Like I think Don Long, they had some blueprints out not too long ago, but they're really not all that complicated. You could find a picture and scale everything out,
Yeah.
and just kind of base it all off of pictures. I've done that on a few chassis in the past.
Greasy Moto said that makes sense. And Dalton said, do you have a panel nearby that would show where you would use a linear die on top and bottom of the hammer?
Yes and no. So I don't have one that's loose that I could put in the machine. So what Dalton is asking about, he sent me a message on the Discord server the other day. And we'll just use the Pettingill as an example because it has a linear in it, top and bottom. So linear stretch on the bottom and a linear stretch on the top. The reason I do that is for clearance. So if we were to put a standard flat die on the top, if you look at it from the front, not the side.
Okay.
This edge and that edge could potentially bite the panel depending on the shape. So your contact patch is only here in the middle. Anything that comes out from here isn't doing anything anyway. So essentially you're just cutting this off for clearance. If we look at this area on the quarter, where you have this reverse and that reverse, you can come in and not bite those corners. Let's see. I can't put it in the hammer, but I can grab 2 loose dies.
Dalton said that makes sense. And then Dennis wants to know, how many helmets do you have?
I have lots of helmets.
I know, we used to count. And then the other funny part, Dennis, is we had a friend, and him and Mike were basically trying to compete to see who could get the most glitter helmets.
So this is going to be hard because the bucket's in here, but we could put this linear die on the back up in that reverse. And then this die could be here. And see how it's clearanced away from the corners? Like I can get my finger in here and my finger in there. So if we had to linear stretch that, where I was doing that with hammer and dolly the other day, we're not going to get any bite marks. But if we put in a flat, we're never going to be able to get down in that valley without hammering this down and that down.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to run a linear in the top and bottom, because it comes through and we don't get any funky bite marks. Because if you can look down from the top, Jamie.
I don't know if I will do my best.
So like if that was up in there, to get this reverse like there, if we had that big flat, it would leave big flat bite marks. So it's just a clearance thing. And like I said, you're only getting contact in that flat anyway. So it's doing the same thing as this. It just gives you the additional clearance of the edges cut off.
Thanks, Dalton. Good question.
A technical question, not just a...
Yeah. Well, you ready to wrap up?
Yeah, are there any last minute questions? Nothing? So make sure to check out, if you don't follow us on Instagram, check that out. You can check out the cesspool that is Facebook. It's always an interesting conversation over there. So it's Cornfield Customs on everything. I've got a TikTok, obviously YouTube. Check out the Patreon to support what we do. Join the Discord server. Like I said, we're growing a community of people that can ask questions and communicate and not have to deal with the crap that's floating around Facebook and Instagram. And I think it's turned out really good. It gets you some discounts on products. So make sure to check that out. Drop a comment on some of the other videos you guys are watching. Let us know how we can improve, types of videos you want to see within reason. Yeah, hopefully we see you guys at Garage Night tomorrow night. Last minute questions? Are we wrapping her up?
No, we're good. Dalton said sorry he was so late that he asked that technical question,
That's
which
all
was
right.
all good. He said, thanks, have a good night. Dennis said, thanks. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for joining us always. Appreciate you. Outshine Copper, thank you too. He said, thanks. We're his favorite program to watch, so thank you. Appreciate that.
Yep,
Randy
and-
said, thanks.
And if you guys want to take a metal shaping class, don't forget to head over to the website, cornfieldcustomsltd.store. We've got group classes, we have private classes. I'm working on the advanced metal shaping class next year. We just have to see how the schedule lines out. Those will start in February, and we do have a few classes with guest instructors. So make sure to check those out if you want to grow your skill in metal shaping. And
Thank
Yeah.
you guys. Thanks,
thanks for
Donkey
checking
and
this out.
Fabit said thank you. So we appreciate you and have a good night. Stay warm too. We'll catch you next week.
yeah, so if I don't see you before then, hopefully tomorrow at Garage Night. We will see you next Thursday at 5:30 for Live and Dirty at 5:30. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you then.